And Americans are increasingly unable to identify fake news from real news, according to a recent Pew survey. Only 26% of over 5,000 adults surveyed were able to identify correctly 5 factual statements. Around 35% were able to identify 5 opinion statements. And the survey was conducted in the wake of the so-called fake news phenomenon. Well, the president has regularly used the term to disparage media outlets he sees as being unfair in their coverage. Meanwhile, the media has gone to the extraordinary lengths to fact-check President Trump's statements on a variety of policy issues. And for more on this, we go to conservative commentator Steve Malzberg. Thanks so much for joining us, Steve.
Thanks, and Natasha, great to be here.
And before we get into specifics about how the media has treated President Trump, I want to ask you about this study where only 26% of participants were able to understand the difference between a factual statement and an opinionated one. Does this surprise you?
Well, not really. I mean, they say, according to the survey, the more politically savvy you are, the better your chances are of being able to distinguish. So that makes sense. And also, if you're a Democrat, you tend to see something that reads positive towards Democrats. You believe it. Same with Republicans in this survey. 25% is a low number. I would have thought it'd be at least more 50-50. But there's a lot of information out there, and they're not, it's put out there. It's not labeled opinion versus fact. And if you're on the internet, if you're not savvy with the internet, that also harms your ability to distinguish. And when you have Google and Facebook and all those other, forums presenting story after story, the average person who's not all that well informed gets confused.
Yeah, and you may recall in October of 2016, several media outlets claimed that President Trump did not pay income taxes for 18 years. And after his tax returns were leaked to MSNBC, it revealed that Trump actually paid a higher rate than Democrats Bernie Sanders and Obama. So how come that didn't really make the news?
Well, that's just one. This media continues to judge Trump on everything he does and report quote-unquote news that turns out to be false, and then they just move on to the next story. You had Melania Trump, when pictures came out during the campaign saying that she modeled in 1990-something. The media went nuts. It's a violation of her immigration visa because she's an immigrant. Turned out that wasn't the case. You had, CNN said Nancy Sinatra objected to the use of a Frank Sinatra song at the inauguration. Nancy Sinatra wrote, CNN, why do you lie? You had Time magazine reporter reporting that Donald Trump, one of the first things he did was remove the bust of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office that was left over from Obama, and that went viral. He did not remove the bust. You mentioned the tax return. I mean, this goes on and on and on. But those are lies, and that's fake news. But fake news by omission is even worse. If you don't put a story in context, for instance, Barack Obama, the way he treated kids separated from their parents, illegal immigrants, he did it too. He sent them back to Mexico. There are pictures that the Daily Caller just put out today. People should go to the Daily Caller and check out these pictures. The media is not showing them. Hillary Clinton, when she was Secretary of State, said the same exact things Donald Trump is saying about illegal immigrants. So did Bill Clinton. The media doesn't put it in context. When Donald Trump blasted a judge, the media went nuts. But Barack Obama blasted the Supreme Court justices at the State of the Union. Bill Clinton said that a judge should retire, and FDR threatened to change the whole Supreme Court. So, I mean, if you don't put stories in context, Paul Manafort, he's in jail, but not for anything to do with the Trump campaign and Russia. So, again, they never say that. You think he's in jail.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, but it has nothing to do with the Trump campaign. So context, fake news by omission is the worst.
And so do you think that there's a change in culture here of journalists not putting their biases aside to report the news, or is it just their disdain for the president? I mean, a commentary show is one thing, but we're talking about primetime news here.
That's the thing. These people consider themselves journalists. They're not. Maybe they were at one point. They're not journalists. I've never called myself a journalist. I've always been an opinion person. So I'm not a journalist, but they give their opinions. They give the fake news. They leave out relevant facts because they're biased, and they still call themselves journalists. This has to stop. We have a situation now with this investigation with the FBI agents and their bias and we're going to get Trump and we hate Trump and we're going to stop Trump. This is the biggest scandal in American history, and the media doesn't care because they hate Trump. We have no more journalists, for the most part, in this country.
Thank you so much, Steve Malzberg. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.